Well, hi, good afternoon, everybody. Letting people in on the Zoom, the collective members. If you're a member of the Creating the Feminine Economy Collective, you are invited to be in the Zoom room VIP with me, and I'll read your comments first, and if we have time, I'll coach. And I'm so glad to be here. My name is Paula Boland. I'm going to see if we're live on Facebook. This is also broadcast on Facebook. And let's see if we're going there. Hey, how are you? How you
Hello,
doing?
hello.
All right, let's see if
Very
I can
good.
be on Facebook here. Hopefully we're on. Yeah, it says we're live, but we're not showing up. There we are. Okay, good. We're live, but we're not showing up. Turn this down so I can see the feed. All righty. Good afternoon, everybody. I'll let anybody else on who's coming into the Zoom room with me as we go. And I'm here every Monday, unless something weird happens, to talk to you on $1 Million Monday about a topic that could either build your money, build your wealth, build your business, or keep you away from building your business and how to resolve that issue. And I am always centered at the intersection of your spirituality, strategy, mindset, and millions of dollars in growth. So glad to be here. And I got Elsie with me here today with the collective. She's on. And anybody that joins on the Zoom, if you want your face to be seen, that's totally fine. This will be sent out to all the members. And by the way, if you're a member, you get a replay. Everybody else does not. It's in the membership section. So if you don't want your face to be seen, you don't have to have your face on here. So okay, I'm going to go forward. So let me see if I see anybody on the feed right now. There's a lot of interest in this. So hopefully there's some folks jumping on. Let's see what's going on here. So what is overthinking? Some of you that are that probably are not on right now, or maybe overthinking whether or not you should be able to get on. So that's always an interesting concept. That might be why we don't have like a big following yet. Can I do this? Can I think about this? All that kind of thing. Dina's on with us. Hi, Dina. How are you? I'm trying to see where there we go. There's the comments. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, Elsie, if you'll mute yourself, that would be perfect. Okay, so what is overthinking? Does anybody that's on right now, or have you ever in your life been a victim of overthinking? Say me if you have. So overthinking is that state of thought that you start, ruminating, going over and over options and over the what ifs and what but, and then how is usually the big question. And then it's usually not, instead of clarifying what you want, overthinking tends to make it more confused, right? So you get in this kind of like ditch, if you will, of thoughts. And what happens in that state is it's not very helpful. It's actually the opposite of helpful. It's harmful. And you tend to stall. You tend to not make decisions. And what happens to our businesses when we don't make quick decisions? We lose money, we lose time, we lose motivation, we lose movement, right? Movement's very, very important. And so this idea of overthinking is a problem for you, of course, in how you feel about yourself, but also how you feel about your business and what happens in your business. And often because of overthinking, nothing's happening in your business, right? So I want to just say that, this is a very, very common concern or issue for women in particular. And you have to consider why that might be. I mean, think about what we do on a daily basis as women. We are thinking machines, right? Our thinking stuff is turned on, right? From the moment we get up, we're thinking about, what's for dinner, how am I going to work out? How am I going to build my business? How are my kids doing? How is my husband doing? What has to happen during this day? How am I going to take care of everything? Do I have enough time? So we are wired to think a lot, right? Because we're taking care of kids. We're very relational beings. And we're also centered in sort of like what is happening in the group culture. So our brains are wired for this. And what happens over time is your brain gets so habitual about thinking about everything and like sort of overproducing thought that you get stuck, right? So let's give ourselves a little bit of grace as women and allow ourselves to know that it's kind of like a natural component of where we can go with things. However, there's always a balance, right? And it helps us to be able to think about, how do I take care of the dog and the meal and the groceries and grow my business and all that stuff. And don't you think it's funny? Like you'll watch your husband or like I watch my son or something like that. And they just focus on the one thing, the ball game. And that's all they're thinking about, right? I mean, you try to bring up the 50 million things that are in your mind and they're like, no, I'm watching the ball game, right? We'll talk about this later, right? It's the one thing they're able to do that. Whereas we carry a lot of that heavy thought. Anybody agree with me or experience this? So what happens because we get into this thought process, this habit of thinking, is it goes haywire and about like decisions or about things that you maybe in the future are considering or even right now. And so, like I said, instead of clarifying things, it turns into anxiety, overwhelm, stress, and then inertia. You don't do anything, right? So that's kind of the problem. And everybody's like nodding their head. They get it. Like, yes, we live in this. We know this, Paula. Okay, no more. We're all overthinking this. Let's think about what to do. All right. So I'm going to give you 4 or 5 things. We're on here for about 20 to 30 minutes every Monday. And so this isn't a long time that we're together. And certainly if we will use the word suffering from overthinking, it's really important to get a mentor, to get somebody to talk to help you take through this process. We're not going to have time tonight to, help you resolve everything, although you're going to hear some things that'll be helpful. So number 1, I want you to get in the practice of being more present. Being present, what's happening when you're overthinking is you are living in the future and then probably backing up to the past, future, past, future, past, future, past, right? And your thoughts are going haywire in that way. And it's usually not a positive situation. It's usually the what ifs. What if this goes wrong? How do I deal with all of that? What happens if I don't have the money to pay for something? It's usually not positives, right? Oh no, I've lost money before. Is this a good investment? All that craziness. So what we want to do is like momentarily hit a Control-Alt-Delete, catch yourself doing it. Many of us know, oh man, I'm overthinking. And then become present. Just become present. So how do you become present? You want to like literally connect with your fingers and your toes. Like, where is your butt sitting right now? Like, feel the chair underneath your butt, right? And like, move your fingers, move your toes. You might want to practice it right now and just become more connected with your body. When you become more connected with your body, it for a few minutes stops that thought process. Okay. So if you can always practice to be more present, it is going to help you with it. When you are outside of the thinking mode, and you are in present mode, that's what meditation does and all of that stuff. Your blood pressure is lower. You are able to make more definite decisions. You are able to encounter things without being reactive. So yeah, it's kind of like a short circuit, right? So what we want to do is we want to bring our body into the situation, get connected with your body. And one way that I do this is I literally, like on purpose, remember where my feet are right now and remember where my butt is, my feet and my butt, right? Get out of the head and go lower. So that's one thing you can do, and do it frequently so you're in a habit about it. The second thing that'll really help you get out of overthinking is to be also in the habit of making decisions. All right. One hallmark of overthinking is being incapable of making a decision. It's a definite hallmark of it. So if you are, for the most part, being disciplined and telling yourself, make a decision, even if it's the small things. Do I want jam or do I want butter on my toast? Do I want to like become present by thinking about my butt or my feet, right? You can do those decisions all the time. And the more you do that, the more your brain becomes adept at making decisions. So then I'm going to lead this to the next step, which is often when we're in overthinking, overwhelm, we've got a big picture going on, like this huge, almost like drama. It's like a scene out of a soap opera going in our mind, right? It's like, oh, and what happens if Sally says this? And what happens if I give $5,000 and I never give it back? And what happened? You know that, and you can even feel that, and then I'll say this, and then I'll do this, and what if I don't do that? And what if I forget this? And when I'm making this presentation, do I know everything I'm going to say? So here's the thing. Remember, we've already talked about making decisions. So get yourself present and then chunk it down, baby. Girly, chunk it down. Instead of looking at it being huge, this huge picture, take one aspect of the whole process of whatever's going on. Like say, say you're gonna, make a video training. I know somebody on here right now is looking at making a video training. And instead of thinking, oh my God, what should, how do I know if it'll be, popular? How do I know if anybody will like it? How do I make sure about that? What am I supposed to say that's the right thing? What I'd like you to do is like, okay, become present, know you're overthinking, and then make one decision, one small one. I'm just going to decide right now to make the video. Next decision. I'm going to decide what's the next decision? I'm going to decide the topic is going to be something I know a lot about. So I don't have to get all stressed out. All right. So you don't have to solve everything at once. A lot of the problem of overthinking is taken on too much at once. And you're just like in, Disville, right? So just chunk it down, girl. All right. Another thing that'll really help you, a lot of times the reason that we are overthinking things is because we feel not as confident and we don't feel like we know enough about the topic, right? So or we don't feel it's a new avenue that we're going down. So I always want you to start from your gifts. Instead of pulling the biggest rock out of the pile and never going to the gym and not having the muscles to be able to carry that rock uphill, what I want you to do is I want you to get the smallest rock you can and just carry it around with fun. All right. So what that means, how do we translate that, is do something that's within your gifts. If you are acting in your gifts, in your one thing, you're going to enjoy it more. It's not going to confuse you or confound you, and you're kind of going to do it naturally. All right. So if you're getting into overthinking, back up and go to something you know everything about. And I said this to Dina's on with me right now. I said this to her last night. I said, just pretend that you're on a podcast and somebody asks you a question about like something you could like answer while you're, folding laundry and, writing a letter. I mean, it's just something everything about, like breathing, right? That is a way to stop the overthinking and take a new approach. It's sort of you pivot to what you know about. Most things in this world, if you back up and use your gifts to solve it and what you know easily, it will overcome your fear, your confusion, your overwhelm, and your anxiety. So get in your gifts and stop pushing the rock uphill. All right. Now here's a big one. Who's ready for some honesty? You ready for some honesty? Can I speak permission to speak honestly? You know, I'm going to do it anyway. So whether you give me permission or not, I'm going to do it. Here is the number one reason that you are overthinking things. You have made it all about you. In your little hot little head, you have made it about what are they going to think? How am I going to do this right? What if I mess up? Hear all these I statements? I don't know if I'm good enough. I might mess up. I don't know what to do. I. You have made it. Overthinking is a hallmark of selfishness. You have made it all about you. I. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to look bad. And I'm going to, okay. This is why women do this so well. We're such people pleasers. We just get into this. What will they think? Right. So what I want you to do when you're doing this is I want you to make it about who it's going to present to. Make it about them. If you turn this around and stop making it about you, you will immediately hit the Control-Alt-Delete on overthinking. Because you'll get out of your need to please, your need to have it all figured out, all about you, all about you. When you make it about what is it that will help my client? What is it that my ideal customer needs? What is it that I can provide that'll be helpful? You will know the answers to that. Or you can just Google it on, it'll take the emotion out of it. You know, you can just Google it, go on ChatGPT, you know, and the minute you start saying, but what if they don't like it? What if I say it wrong? What if that is all about you? Y'all hear me on this one? When you're overthinking, turn the fingers away from you and start thinking why you're doing it and who you can serve and how you can serve better and what it is that you're going to provide. And when you do that, your overthinking will stop immediately. You're being too selfish. I hate to say that. No, I don't. You need to know that. Okay? Stop making it about you. The last one I'm going to go over right now in this brief time we have together. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I think somebody's crying on here too. Sending me cry symbols. So the last thing that I'm going to go over is get around other people. Get around other people, because when you are in your head and you've spent some time up there and you're stalled and you've gotten in this loop, you really do need to get a Control-Alt-Delete. You really do need to be able to voice what's going on and put it out there and hear some other perspectives. All right. So if you've already tried to quit making it about you, you've been present, but you keep picking that back up. You keep picking that back up. Be part of a group of people where you process this, right? So masterminds, group coaching, meet with your coach, send a Vox to your coach, get with your mentor and allow that mentor to tell you the truth. If you don't have a mentor in your life that's going to tell you the truth and only says, oh, I know that's hard, blah, 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 you are not really being mentored. All right. So I want you to get around other people, friends, mentors, especially healthy women that don't get all into the what ifs with you, right? Will help you get out of overthinking. And that's what's going to really help. Okay. So before we tune off tonight, has this been helpful? Has this been good? Okay, good. I knew it was helpful. So, but I'm glad to see you not. So, here's what I want you to do if you are you in this space of overthinking is I want to help you. A lot of what's going on during, yes, you should have called me today. Beverly, call me anytime. So when you are in the space of overthinking and you're trying to make that decision and those kind of things, One thing to know about this is it's also a part, we talked about this last week, of being in lack, being in fear, and being in lack-based thinking. Like a lot of what's going on in overthinking is the what if the problem, how of the problem, what's going to go wrong, right? Trying to avoid what's going wrong. So that's lack-based thinking. It is not abundant thinking, right? In abundant thinking, you'd be like, let me try something. And if it goes wrong, I'll try something else, right? So that's another piece to this, is like, just go do it and let it be messy. Let it be messy, dude. Messy wins. Sloppy doesn't, messy does, okay? Just go be messy. And you can always make another decision, right? That's abundant thinking. And so what I want to do is I always want to help you get into the habit of being in abundance. You're going to feel happier. You're going to create more in your life. You're going to be a better servant to other people and yourself. You're going to respect yourself more, and you're going to respect other people more, and you're going to have more money. All right. So when I can get you into abundance thinking and abundance habits, that is when you win. All right. So if you're needing to have some intervention, first of all, think about getting coaching and think about a mentor, but I have a program called Abundance Code Activation. And this program is a 4-week program that you go through with me and with other people. And it is on purpose helping you examine what your one thing is. What are those gifts that God gave you to bring to this world? And to it's not that you don't know what they are, it's just been covered up. So to uncover them and reconnect with them so that you can use them to feel happy and flow in your life and get into abundance thinking in anything you're doing. When you pull these gifts out, it's going to make everything easier. All right. And then what we talk about in this program is how do you use those gifts to bring you more money, to bring you more of what you want, those kind of things. So I've run this program twice. There's several people on with me right now who are in the abundance activation, the Abundance Code Activation program, but you are welcome to join back in. If you'd like to come through it again, there's people that come through a couple of times, and you are also very welcome to come if it's the first time. I, in the chat, have just put in the code for that, and I will put it in the feed as well. We're going to start the next round on October the 10th. All right. And there actually is a waiting list now for this program. It's so helpful and successful. Hey, who's on the feed right now? Tell me if you've made some new decisions about your life as a result of this program. I can see who's on this feed, and I know most of you should be saying me. So if you've been in this Abundance Code Activation, you know that we practice on purpose resetting the abundance thinking, and also helping you figure out how you can use that to make a shit ton of money. Excuse my French. So I'm all about that. I'm obsessed by it. I want every one of you to have an S ton of money. All right. I know it can happen. I know it's there. I mean, if people can go to Vegas and spend $1 million a minute, there's money there, right? There's so much money we can't even imagine it. And the reason we can't get it is because we can't imagine it. So we need to connect with it a little better, and our own gifts are going to help us do that. So I'm going to put in the feed. Also, I put it in the chat. You can sign up right now. We start again on October the 10th. I'll be talking about this more. There is a waiting list for this program because it's so successful and helps so many people. It actually was just like, I hate to say this because it's so overused, but I was literally meditating one day and praying, and it was a download. It literally came from God what to do here. So I put it together, and it's just been a blessing, and it's so fun to be part of. 4 weeks, easy fun, right? And it just makes a lot of life change. So I'll put that in the feed. If you don't catch it now, you'll get it in just a minute as soon as I get off of here. I don't have any of my people on with me today who work with me to take the control and put the feed, the links in there. All right. So we've talked about overcoming overwhelm, and overcoming overthinking, which is part of overwhelm. And I want you to go ahead and use these 6 different pointers that I gave you actively. So you want to, make more decisions. You want to become more present. You want to get around other people to kind of talk it out. Take it in chunks, chunk it out, girl. Don't look at it all at once. All right. Bring your gifts into it, and stop making it all about you. Your number one issue of why you're overthinking is you're worried about what other people think. You're worried about how it will go. You're worried about how you will look. If you make it about the other people that you're presenting this to and what they need, you won't overthink as much. You might have to get some more information, but you won't overthink. All right. All right. My name is Paula Boland. I'm a master business and mindset coach. It's been my absolute joy to be with you. All of you people that are members that are listening to this feed right now that are members in the Creating the Feminine Economy Collective will receive an email with the replay of this session. It's also in your membership site. We have just revamped it. That'll come to you in the next little while when you'll see it all beautiful. I just looked at it today in front of you, and you just click on those little links. It's so nice. And so we've put a lot of effort. Actually, my VA Pam has put a lot of effort into making this workable for you. And so you'll get that. If you are not a member of the Creating the Feminine Economy Collective, all you got to do is, find the link in this Facebook group and join. It's $14 a month or $99 a year. And you get this every single week. You get so much value out of this. Meetings, one-on-one, in person, topics, all kinds of deep collaborations with people that want to buy from you and you want to buy from them, sisters that just are by your side. I mean, you can't even count out the value. So if you're not a member, join. You get this replay. You will get the replay if you are a member. And I thank you for being a member. And go look into the Abundance Code activation. And I don't want to hear anything else about you overthinking, because you got the solutions now. All right. We'll talk soon. Love you guys very much.